Hey y'all, it's Mai here again with another life lesson. And it's been a minute since I sat down with notes, but I felt compelled today. Before we get into this, if you haven't already, please subscribe. You see, we're on the ground floor and we are not despising small beginnings, but if you enjoy this type of content, life lessons, please subscribe. Please comment and please share because it definitely does help the word to get out. And I just want whoever is supposed to get these lessons to be able to find it. Okay. Today, I really wanted to talk about how to fight depression. At first, I was talking about overcome depression, but for some reason, I didn't want to use that word, how to fight depression. We're going into a new season, and especially if you live in some of the colder parts of the world, then it can start to mess with you a little bit not having as much sun. We know that vitamin D is a natural mood booster, and so there is a biological scientific aspect of depression. Okay, there's also a spiritual aspect, I believe. As many of you know, I am a Christ follower, so I do believe in the Bible, and I believe there's certain aspects of things that there's an invisible component to most things in the world, if not everything. But then you also have personal seasons. Has nothing to do with the time of year. It has to do with what you are personally going through. And so I just wanted to help with a few tips from my personal perspective. I purposely didn't deep dive into what's out there on the internet world because this is personal. I will say that I've done a couple of videos before on depression and how to overcome it. For a long time, I won't say, I'm not like owning like, oh, I deal with depression. It's not that. I think that all of us at any point in time can have a depressing episode, okay? Whether it lasts a day, an hour, or longer. That something, it's a part of the human experience based on things that we may be going through or what's going on in our body, what's going on within our spirit and our soul. So I think this is definitely a universal topic, whether people want to admit it or not, okay? But you're gonna get the real over here. So first, I did look up an official definition of depression, okay? So according to the Mayo Clinic, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest. Also called major depressive disorder or clinical depression, it affects how you feel, think, and behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. You may have trouble doing normal day-to-day activities, and sometimes you may feel as if life isn't worth living. Okay, so that is a extreme case where you get to the point where there is a level of hopelessness that is persistent. Those are the individuals that may need not only deep therapy, and there's nothing wrong with therapy on any level, even a proactive level, even if you're not dealing with, depression or anything like that in the moment. I'm an advocate. Jesus in therapy is what I say, okay? But for individuals that have the level of depression that this is referring to, that clinical, where maybe they even have to, sometimes get on medication and all of that, that's a whole nother level. But I still believe that these tips can be beneficial because at the end of the day, we're going to fight the good fight, okay? We ain't going out without swinging, okay? We're not going down without swinging. We're not going to go down at all. See, part of this, what I'm doing right now, is encouragement. It's encouragement for you and it's encouragement for me, okay? So again, everything that I'm talking about is personal. It's not I looked up something or whatever. These are things that off the dome, how I deal with when I'm having a moment, a season of depressive feelings, okay? And there's no There's no order to this, okay? There's no order to this. But the first one I thought about is to actually take your moment to process through what you're feeling and try to discover why. What was the moment before the moment? If you were completely fine and then all of a sudden you feel the clouds kind of descending onto your soul, then take a moment to process through that and ask yourself, what just happened? What thought did I have? What did I just see? What memory did I have? What came right before the feeling of this heaviness? And then you can begin to work through it from there. But I find that it is important to not just the what. Oh, I just feel depressed. Oh, I just feel sad. But the why. And you have to go through that process for yourself. So give yourself that moment. Um, going into the actual fighting of the what, which is the depressive feelings, the heaviness, the clouds, the mean reds, as my girl Audrey Hepburn said in Breakfast at Tiffany's, one of my favorite movies. Make a call. Make a call and check on someone else's well-being. The thing about when you begin to focus on others, when you're having a struggle moment, what it does is actually lifts your spirits by default, because you're no longer focused on that thing or that feeling that you're having, and you're actually giving your energy, time, and focus to someone else. So I find that this is a really good tool to pick up the phone and reach out to someone, especially if it's someone you haven't talked to in a minute, and just have a conversation with them. Here's the caveat though. Don't call them because you need somebody to talk to. Don't call them talking about what you're feeling and how you're going through. The point of this tip is to call someone else to get your mind off of yourself. Call someone else to be of service to someone else. I guarantee you, if you do that, you will find that, oh, by the time you get off the phone with them, you are going to be more in a space of gratitude. You're going to be more in a space of focusing outward than inward. Because think about when you are feeling those feelings of depression, it's typically something that is marinating inside your mind, your soul, your spirit. It's something that's churning within you that now has you in this heaviness. It's what's not going right for you. It's what you don't have. It's what you wish you had. It's why some people are treating you this way. Like, it's really, and I don't mean this to be mean, but but it really is self in the traditional way centered. It is what is happening to me, what I do not have, what my struggle is. If you're able to garner enough strength to extend yourself to someone else in that moment when you're feeling those feelings, I guarantee you by default, you're fighting those feelings. You're fighting that heaviness. Okay? All right. Another practical one is get clean. And I mean literally get clean. Some people feel such heaviness that it's difficult for them to get out of bed. It's difficult for them to move. And I'm telling you, if you will push yourself to put one foot, then the other on the floor and literally go get in some water. Take a bath, soak in a hot bath, take a shower. Water is very cleansing, not only physically, but it's cleansing to the soul. It's symbolic. It is very much a cleansing process, and you will find that you will feel much better once you actually have cleaned and cleansed yourself. And then the next step is to put on clothes that make you feel good, That means your favorite outfit, even if you're not going anywhere. Make your face up, ladies. Make your face up. Do your hair. Gentlemen, shave. Comb your hair. Get yourself together, even if you are not going anywhere, because this is for you. This is actually fighting depression. And actually, even if you get back into bed and put on your favorite movie, I guarantee you, you're still going to feel better. You're going to feel much better just by being clean, just by putting on some clothes that make you feel good. And here's another thing, and I can't remember if this is later on in my notes, but it is, but I'm going to say it now. Lean into color. You see, I have I have on black, but I have this pop of color here. It makes me smile just looking at it. It makes me feel good to have that pop of color. And even though I have on a black top and black pants, guess what? My undergarments are bright. That's a trick as well. Sometimes we're in a season or in a mood where we're wearing darker colors in the fall and the winter time. But you know what? Get fun and funky with those, not literally like funky, but have fun with your undergarments. I guarantee you, every time you go to the restroom and have to pull down your clothes or pull up your clothes and you see that pop of bright color, it's going to put a smile on your face. Even subconsciously, color has an impact on our moods, okay? So remember that. Here's the next one. Temporarily refocus away from the thing that is challenging your mental health in the moment. Refocus away from the thing that is challenging your mental health in the moment. Remember, the first one I said is take a moment to process through your feelings. What was the moment before the moment? What were you doing right before you started feeling this heaviness? Were you on social media? Were you seeing other people's lives and it just made you feel horrible about your own? Let's talk about social media for a second. Okay, this ain't in my nose, but I feel compelled to say it. If you don't know, social media is one of the fakest places on the planet. It is an illusion. It is a lot of people that is presenting a version of themselves. It's not everybody. I didn't say everybody. I said it's a lot of people, because think about it, on social media, unless the people know you in person, you can present whatever you want to. Even the people that know you in person, like there's people that I know in real life offline, and if I only went by their social media, then I would have a whole different, depiction of them. Okay. And it's human nature. You don't know me. If you don't know me, and even if you do know me, you don't live in the house with me. You don't see me every day. Majority of you do not see me every day. You don't know what my day-to-day truly is like unless I told you. And most people, which I'm not an advocate for oversharing on social media, but most people are purposely just sharing the highlight reels. Most people purposely are sharing the vacations and the happy moments and the this and that. You do have some people that get on there and crying and snotting and distressing and all of that kind of stuff and telling their, private business and all that. Teach his own. But the people that, like, if you had a moment where you're looking at it, it's like somebody's accomplishing all of these things, and they're, they have the, the family, the career, the this, that you don't seem to have in a moment. And they seem like that they have everything going for them. And it makes you, because you're comparing yourself to something you're seeing on social media, it makes you depressed. Temporarily refocus your energy away from the thing that is challenging your mental health. That is no shade, because see, that's a you thing. That's a me thing if it's me. It's not the fault of the person that's posting on social media. It could actually be, or they could really be on vacation. They really could be having an amazing streak and run, but guaranteed there's sunshine and rain that comes to everyone's life. And you shouldn't be wishing that, okay, because you're in a rainy season, that you get mad at somebody because they're in a sunshiny season. That means you simply need to refocus away from whatever is challenging you mentally in that moment, so that you can get in a better place. That also may mean you may need to stop answering your phone for a minute. If you are that person that you take on other people's issues and problems a lot, they call you to, kind of vomit their issues onto, because you're that listening ear. You're the fixer. You might need to put that on pause for a while. I encourage you to, because when you're in a moment where you're in immense mental, spiritual, soul need, you have to feed into yourself so that you can even attempt to be there for anybody else. You are not Superman and you're not She-Ra. So you may need to step away from the phone for a moment. You may not need to answer every call, especially if it is emotionally draining for you. If it's an individual that every time they call you, they need something from you, if you don't have the capacity for that, and I'll guarantee you that if you're having a heavy depressive moment, you don't have the capacity. So I'm telling you, don't. Put yourself first in this moment. And sometimes you need to shoot somebody a text and say, hey, love you, but I can't talk right now. I'll hit you up later. It might be a couple of days. That way, folks not thinking something's wrong and all that kind of stuff in that sense, like something wrong toward them. It's, you just need a beat. You need a minute. And you get to have that. Okay? The other thing is, for this particular one, with refocusing, even if temporarily, watch what you're intaking through your eyes and through your ears. Sometimes when we're having a moment of, heaviness, sometimes we want to lean into that. So we may put on the music that's going to help us to lean into that a little bit more. We may put on another sad love song, We may put on, a film that kind of stirs up those feelings and take us to that place even deeper. Sometimes you want to just melt into the abyss. Don't do it. Because there are times that with you doing that, it's not a relief. It just takes you deeper into it. So resist listening and watching things that's going to affirm those negative feelings that you're already feeling. And listen, there are certain songs that I absolutely love. It's a jam, it's a vibe, but the lyrics, the arrangement, it feeds into a sense of heaviness. And that's not what you need at that moment when you're already trying to fight. And you will have to fight the temptation to watch that, okay? On that note, watch something happy. Watch something that will make you laugh, like comedy. I don't know if people know that. I'm sorry, I keep kicking this thing. Comedians are ministers. And it doesn't have to be a professional comedian. It could be someone in your life that is just funny, even without trying to be funny. But when you talk to them or you experience them or listen to them, they just make you laugh. They just crack you up. they by default lift your spirits. If you're going to watch anything, watch something that makes you laugh. If you're going to be on social media, this is the time to dig into those, cute baby videos, or the kids, the kids say the darndest things, or, the pet videos, or just a comedian that will actually make you laugh. Comedians, my uncle used to have a comedy club, and I'm sorry for the loudness. My uncle used to have a comedy club. I was all of 20 this particular summer that I was visiting, and I was at the club every weekend, his comedy club every weekend. And that's when I learned that comedians actually are some of the deepest, sometimes most traumatized people that are walking around the planet. They use laughter and comedy for their own healing. A lot of them, if you've ever really paid attention to comedians just being interviewed when they're not on stage, or just had a conversation with a comedian, especially those that do it like professionally, or just, this is what they do. They are not the people that are on stage. They are using that as a lot of times they get into comedy as a survival and a coping mechanism for a lot of trauma and devastating junk that they've experienced, that they had to find a way to deal with it. It was therapy for them, and ended up being therapy for those around them. They are ministers of joy. So lean into their ministry when you are feeling that heaviness. Use it. That's what they have put it out there for. It actually helps bring them joy to know that they're bringing joy to other people. So lean into comedy, okay? And the Bible even says, laughter doeth good like a medicine. That's the King James Version, but it's basically laughter is medicine. Medicine makes you feel better. It's supposed to. Okay? It's healing. Laughter is healing to the soul and the body. Okay? Lean in. This is last but not least. Escape into God. Escape into God. Sometimes we're doing all of the stuff. We got bright colors on. We are, leaning into comedy. We're leaning into laughter. We are shifting our energy to focus on others instead of ourselves. We're doing all of the things, and we still feel a sense of heaviness, or it's a temporary fix. But God is the only constant. He is the only one who will never leave or forsake you. He's the only one that is always available and accessible if you tap in. There are times that I have personally experienced where I wanted to talk to someone. I was in a moment. I needed someone to talk to, and I'm calling all of my regulars. The people in my inner circle, people that are close to me, that I trust and I'm safe with, and no one is available. No one is picking up, or they're just not available. And at first I was like, I would dig more into it reinforces the no one's there for me. All it can reinforce the foolishness, right? It can reinforce that heaviness that's already on you, until I discovered that it was God that was blocking. The closer I get to him, I recognize when it's him. And he's saying, there's times he's saying that, no, I'm not working through that person this time. I need you to come directly to me. No, I'm not working through a YouTube video or a sermon or any of that. I need you to come directly to me. You're not going to get relief any other way. This is between you and I. There are those times. If you are not a believer, especially if you find yourself dealing with depression And especially if you find yourself dealing with depression on a clinical level, I would encourage you to discover who your creator is. I'm a Christ follower. I believe in Jesus. Get into your word. Pray. Ask God to reveal himself to you, because I'm telling you that there are times that I'm like, I don't know any other way that I'm going to get through what I'm going through. I have to go to God. There's no one else, even the people that love me the most in this world, and I am very well loved. But even them, they cannot. There's certain things they're just not built to carry. There's no one walking the planet that's built to carry it. It is a you and God thing. Okay? All right, I told y'all it's been a minute since I've done this with notes, and we're 26 minutes in already. So I'm going to end it there. Again, if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're on the ground floor and you're a part of it. And that means that I see you. I see you because you're a part of the foundation of this place and this space and this community. And I appreciate you being here. So share anything you'd like to share in the comments section. Please subscribe, and please share this video with someone that you believe would get benefit out of it. Okay?